Hello, my name is Dr. Ruthie, or Dr. Ruth Newstifter if you want to be formal. I am a sexuality educator, and I blog over at exploringintimacy.com. I'm also the author of The Nice Girl's Guide to Talking Dirty, but today I'm here answering your questions thanks to the wonderful folks at funwares.com. And make sure you pop on over and tell them I said hi. You guys have been tweeting in your questions, you've been emailing them to Funwares, you've been emailing them to me, all kinds of good stuff, and I'm excited to be answering just as many of your questions as I can. Let's take a look at the first one. Dear Dr. Ruthie, I watched some of your videos and started reading your blog. I must say that you are of great help. I am so glad to be helpful to you. I've eventually decided to message you and ask my question that's been on my mind. I'm 21 and my girlfriend is 18. We've been together for, I'll leave that blank, for quite a number of months, or low number of years perhaps. She's very, very shy, and she can usually joke about sex, but it's quite hard to get her to talk about her own desires. However, she's always been open-minded so far, but she's still a virgin. Skipping down a little bit, what would be the best way to introduce her to lesbian sex? The writer is a female, just to explain that to y'all. And what would be the best way to make her first time unforgettable? I had my first time when I was 16, but the guy I was with hurt me a lot. I don't want to leave my girlfriend with a bad impression on her first time. Please, Dr. Ruthie, do you have any advice for me? Thanks for your time. Well, thank you so much for writing this question, and I think that it says a lot about you that you are so concerned about giving your girlfriend a wonderful first-time experience of sex. And, you know, this kind of brings about a really important background question, which is, what exactly is virginity? What does it mean first time having sex? What does that mean to people, both on a definition sort of level, as well as on an emotional, romantic kind of level? And the history of what virginity is kind of not something that is something to be terribly proud of. It comes from a notion of ownership, of who owns a woman and a woman's body as property, like as cattle, from history, and the rights to making sure that you are the one she's having children with and things like that, all with a very heteronormous, so heterosexually assumed, biased kind of background. This is, not the kind of history that we necessarily want to emulate, and it all had to do with breaking of hymen and all these sorts of things. So this notion of virginity has changed a lot to some sort of social identity or experience marker. And I'm just going to tell you the great secret of all non-virgins out there. Although first-time events can certainly be memorable for positive or negative, the word virginity kind of loses its meaning over time for most adults, in that you come to realize that there's a lot more to sex than the breaking of a hymen or a single first time. There can be the single first time that you fell in love, or it can be the next time you fell in love and realized that there were two different kinds of loves that you could feel, or more different kinds of loves. It could be the first time that you had intercourse with someone who was a different sex or gender than yourself. The first time that you had fun with sex toys with somebody of a different gender or of your own gender, whatever the case may be. The first time you kissed or were kissed in such a way that it just like woke you up and you had a passion moment. There's lots of different firsts out there, and I'm really just, the examples I'm giving are just the tip of the iceberg for sure. For folks who are a little bit kinkier, there's a heck of a lot of firsts out there. So this notion of virginity is really difficult, and we can't really use the historical notion of virginity when we're talking about anything other than a heterosexual pair. So what are we talking about for first? You haven't given a lot of information with that, so I can't really assume. I wouldn't want to assume, but we can talk about how to make it the best possible situation for her. So I think the first thing to do is to just broaden the notion about what first time means, and to think of it as a continuum of exploration. Now, I understand that for a person who doesn't have a lot of sexual experience, the notion of a continuum of exploration sounds really weird. There's like this achievement, this accomplishment of the first time of losing your virginity, and it feels that way when you're approaching it. Come on, I want to acquire that experience that makes me an experienced person sexually. But, if it's possible to give you the advice of experience and have it mean anything, I know you got to do most of the exploring yourself, but if it is possible, then I would say thinking of it on that not even a continuum, because that does kind of imply beginning and end, but just this multifaceted, like a lotus, a flower with lots of petals, lots of different things to explore, and all of them can be wonderful firsts. And the notion that there's one big ultimate climactic first is not true. There's lots of wonderful firsts we experience throughout our life, and that we can enjoy and look forward to. There's not just one golden moment where you've lost your virginity. Where did it go? Is it in the couch? You know, so to think of it that way. So to make that more practical, what I'm suggesting to you is to engage in exploration together at the level that she's most comfortable with. It takes a lot of pressure off when you're just enjoying exploring different things of interest instead of shooting for that one first time of something or other. You can explore different kinds of erotic literature or videos together, and I don't necessarily mean it has to be porn, anything erotic or romantic, whatever works for you two, or especially for her. And, you know, spend a little time talking about, wow, I really like that. Is it something I just wanted to watch, or is it something that I might be interested in exploring? Is it something that I would want to explore sooner or explore later, or make my mind up about that later? And remember, we can always change our mind, so no pressure there. So taking that exploration route, taking it slow and gentle, that we don't have to, you know, we can plan a particular first for this weekend, but it isn't some sort of groundbreaking moment that we can never have a redo of, that is like the ultimate breaking of the virginity. Find out, you know, the certain things that she likes, and starting with media or other examples can be really helpful. And keeping the pressure low makes a really big difference. Also, all those sort of technique things that I'm often mentioning in video, like having a good lubricant, by all means, before you even worry about any of this stuff, making sure that, because it sounds like you've had some experience and so are at a slightly higher risk level for any sorts of, you know, sexually transmitted infections or whatever, go in, get yourself checked out for that. It can't hurt for her to do the same, because this will be a wonderful beginning to a lifetime of making sure that we're happy and healthy and getting checked out. But yeah, having a good lubricant around, making sure that she knows her body. If she doesn't touch or explore herself at all, you know, encouraging her to feel good about that and to learn a little bit about what she likes, so that she can show you and that you can show her what you like, and you guys can kind of explore forward together in a lower pressure kind of way. When we, you know, go for the gold, have that solid goal we need to get to for the virginity or whatever, that's when we tend to have those negative experiences, and maybe that was a part of why your experience was not so positive. I hope that this helps you. This is kind of roundabout advice, but I do hope that it's useful for what you're looking for, and I deeply appreciate that you want her to have the best experience possible. Have fun, you two. Go out and explore the world. Be safe. Have a great time. I'm Dr. Ruthie, and I'll see you later.